This week on Hermitcraft.
Yeah, so this isn't gonna work. This needs to go.
Trying to bring down the mountain! Stand up! We must come back!
Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs. Our writer is Sly XP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara, and Christmas is on the way.
Close enough to Christmas that I got my Christmas skin on.
So if any of the hermits feel like they're overachieving, for one thing, welcome to Hermitcraft, and for another, it might just be because they want to gift something actually nice for Secret Santa this year. And let me tell you, the Hermitcraft Recaps company Secret Santa thing is insane with just the three of us. With when this episode should come out, we would like to remind you that you have only a month left on your last year's resolutions, and the Hermitcraft members are acting like they only have 1 month left of the season. Case in point, there was a mountain here. Was.
Desperate for stone.
Oh, well,
Me
come
too.
help yourself. There's a mountain to take down.
The destruction of an entire mountain is perhaps just a good excuse not to follow the bridge trend, because with the new world seed being such a mixture of majestic hills and deep valleys, everyone is building bridges. Except for Doc M, who is burning them. We'll get more into XP Crafted flattening out too much terrain for, let me check my notes here, week 3 of the server later, as well as into Grian's horse-powered elevator, Etho's high-velocity donkeys, and Wells Knight building a sugarcane farm big enough to start a toilet paper empire. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Etho, whose main contribution to science is breeding super donkeys. While he hasn't yet been able to produce a perfect ass,
that we know of.
he's certainly making sure the northern faction of the server has enough donk to go around. He's been juicing the donkey's speed with swiftness potions when he really wants them to feel like a competitor to Elytra, but that's not the only potion he's been smashing over the heads of unsuspecting creatures,
This is some kind of Canadian farm.
We're about to find out. This is science, guys.
including Good Times with Scar, who is launched into low orbit by Etho's experiments with an early game slime farm. After the mandatory corner inspection of the Nether Hub, Etho shimmies up to the Nether roof to build a froglight farm, the better to cyberpunk up the lighting in his base facade, and we get crumbs of lore for his build theme this season. To briefly summarize, the ruling class of a dystopian society replaced infrastructure with parkour to help people stay active after they automated everything. But joke's on them, nobody ever actually jumps for anything but chicken. Actually kinda explains most late-game Minecraft servers when you think about it.
I forgot the best part about the lore, by the way. I noticed like a lot of the hermits, they make special skins to get into character. You notice I've been wearing armor all episode? I might have a new skin hidden underneath here. It might have happened.
Speaking of reaching new heights, Zedaf decides to supersize his Star Trader advancement and launches himself and a villager to the stratosphere. Star Trader, in case you don't know, is a vanilla Minecraft advancement to trade with a villager while at build limit. Naturally, Zedaf puts his own spin on that, or rather his own launch, which is quite tricky because it's hard to do anything over the build height limit. You can't place any blocks up there. While you try to guess exactly how they Gagarin'd a man, let me inform you that it's not even the only Z-advancement Zedaf starts this week.
I will not be the hermit achieving this advancement at all. My fellow hermits will be competing to get the best spy picture of me over the course of the entire season.
And another one is to collect one of everything you can get in the game, only to put it into the inventory of this one cargo donkey. Which will require quite some inventory finagling, but does let us tell you that Zedaf has a lot of junk in the trunk.
What a full lovely bundle there. I love it. Boom. Put it straight in you like that. Bam.
Make no mistake, Zed does actually have a base to hide his many riches in. He just can't ride the hole in the precipice wherever he wants to go. Joe Hills, meanwhile, has given away a bunch of his surplus materials, but in exchange for all that deep slate, Azuma promises to make him a storage system.
And what does Copper Golem like to do?
Move things from one inventory to another.
Yes. I could give you the gift of a storage system. How does that sound?
Which he does, but first Joe has to build a facade for his TV production studio that's worthy of having such a system stored within it. And he's splitting his time between that and the Potato Palapa. And if you aren't sure what a Potato Palapa is, why, it's a spud shop, a Murphy market, a yam cabana, if you will.
You might be looking at that and going, wow, Joe, you sold 4 stacks already? No, this is what buskers do. This is called seeding the tip jar.
But once he's got the floors and at least some temporary walls in, Azuma returns to introduce him to Copper Golem-based storage, where an array of 9 chests can be fed by a handful of robotic assistants, and the 10th chest they check will pass the items on to the next array. So now, like TV studios everywhere, the production will be supported by people doing hard work behind the scenes. But now that the golem kind has been given a job, Azuma is going to give them a religion. Introducing Godot the Golem God, which is fun to say, it also means we're no longer waiting for it. With how the subject matter are basically robots, it's fitting that the statue crowning the entrance into Azuma's copper mine has been inspired by Godot the game engine, which also means Azuma has been messing around with a game engine, so that's one more rabbit hole to go down on top of his passion for music production. But amongst these other hobbies, Azuma has also been collecting patina.
Look at me! I'm oxidizing!
That's right, being a copper golem himself, X felt the need to participate in his people's oldest tradition and begun oxidizing. It's a change in skin as well as headwear, but luckily not yet movement speed.
Some additional functionality has been added. You can change the texture, so now I will be oxidizing over the course of the season.
This of course poses a serious dilemma for his server mates, as they could just keep scraping him with an axe, but on the other hand, the guy would look really nice in teal. You know, just standing there. Actually inspired by his perpetual golem movement machine, LaudividniYT employs one as a barman for her tavern that she now has.
Okay, I'm in love with him already. That is literally perfect.
The little copper helper is forced to run around between his input chest and his output chest, while some hoppers secretly move the items back, but it looks really cute and busy doing it. In the meantime, the tavern is actually a really interesting set piece on its own. LaudividniYT has her base span a whole taiga forest, but this corner of it in particular finds itself at a crossroads. So Gem decides to signpost the intersection with a decorative build, inviting donkey enthusiasts and other travelers to take a break.
No, it's not a house, it's a tavern along the road, so you can stop in.
This is more starter base than your bridge.
No, it's a tavern. See, I'm sure you're tired after all the touring, so you could come up here and you could rent a room and you could sleep.
And also reminding them whose turf this actually is. Yes, she has a separate outfit to go with it. The vibes just weren't right otherwise. Anyway, Raine immediately comes in and orders an espresso martini.
Ooh, it feels a little more fancy down here.
Yeah.
Barman, I'll have espresso martini, please.
He's working
Just
so
a coffee
hard.
for me.
Any kind of signposting turns out to be a really good idea, seeing how Joel Beans, Scar and Skizzleman take their horses to explore the server and then get lost.
I'm not sure this is the right way.
I don't think this is the right way. This is going further in. Who made this path? This is my area.
I think Tango was also there, but he seemed to actually know exactly where they were. Joel Smallish Beans has warmed up to horses significantly, even naming every one of them he kills to make his rainbows.
Give it the full Joel treatment.
I'm not going to kill the horse, Tango. I'm not going to kill the horse. We don't do that anymore. That was last season.
In fact, the rest of his animals are up for naming if the comments are willing to help, and he will be keeping some farm stock now that he's built a barn to keep it in.
We're going to have 4 cows in here. We're going to have 16 sheep in. We're going to have 2 horses in here because we love horses on the surface over here.
By force of habit, we tried our best to figure out what internet horror this project could be, but we couldn't. Internet sleuths are, however, welcome to try and figure out who could be the secret admirer that left a chest full of frog lights buried at Joel's doorstep and why it's obviously Etho. Such generous attitude will be a real boon to the season, as Good Times with Scar, the charity Chad of the group, has signed up to plot out the shopping district for the season. So of course, he brought his organizational skills to the table and has already started a community resource pool for the community area. To promote the donation drive, Scar even builds a billboard inviting his server mates to be hero. Whoever B is, we hope she gets whatever resources she needs for this project. Scar, in the meantime, B's a villain, and finally retaliates against Doc setting his starter base on fake fire. So he sends in Skizzleman to try to rescue the zombie from Doc's iron farm, just because that has Scar's head on it.
There you go, Skizz. You're the hero we deserve, not the one we need. Wait, no, I definitely messed that one up, Tango.
Might have had that backwards.
There you go, Skizz. Save him, Skizz.
That's when a golem spawns on the blocks they place to get to it, and the villager scaring apparatus, let's just say, stops working violently. Worry not, even if the Revengers redouble their efforts, there will not be a shortage of iron farms on this server anytime soon. Why, Wells Knight, for one, has started an entire personal industrial district. 2 of them even, depending on how you count. See, the general villager needs of his were fine for just this stretch of plains he was given to lag out, but the mob farm Wells had in mind demanded some serious relocation. Of sand, amongst other things.
I'm not gonna have to do nearly as much digging as I thought I would, because a lot of it is just already dug out, air quotes.
To fully realize his design, Wells departs to one of those deserts Gree and said are only a multiple thousands of blocks away from spawn. Wells then blasts a hole in it and lowers a Nembon MC monster grinder coil below the surface. All this just to cut down on zombie spawns, since in a desert a lot of those would be dedicated to husks, but husks can only spawn under the sky, none of which the farm has access to.
And let's be honest, when you're talking about the various mob drops in Minecraft, you probably don't need chests upon chests of rotten flesh.
Wells then returns to his home farming grounds, only to plop down a sugarcane farming rectangle powered by slime block sweepers. There is a certain irony in how a farm so big wouldn't work at all without Etho's 5x5 slime killing pit, but that's beside the point really. Needless to say, Grian from a week ago would really appreciate access to all of these resources, and the sand too. Grian from this week, well, he does have his own iron farm.
Hello? Any customers down here?
Yeah, you can tell me why my iron farm sucks.
It's heartwarming seeing him not record massive progress of the base because he appears to have lost himself just playing and enjoying the game. We're still going to recap it and tell you that his trading hall is now complete and completely decorated. But one piece of Minecraft technology that really ate up a lot of his video is the cake-powered horse elevator. Grian ate up a lot of it too, so it evens out.
You eat one slice of the cake for each notch upwards, and this is a much faster method than going all the way up there.
The trick here is that the horses of Minecraft have step assist. They don't need to jump to clear one block tall hurdles, so putting down finely sliced cakes on top of each other is equivalent to building a remarkably steep horse ramp. It is then rather funny that with how much work he put into the stair cake, Grian basically never leaves his cave through the duration of that episode.
Dead again. This is the happiest moment, Dad.
Another running on stairs enthusiast turns out to be Hypnotized, who transforms the cellar of his log cabin into a ground floor, then puts the storage array into the attic.
New pillar here, more stairs and trap doors that kind of match what we already have going on. Made it like a little table so we could put a lamp on it, added in some of these fence posts here.
There's certainly some civil engineering happening here, but worry not, he makes up for it by putting his villager trading hall rightfully in a dark dungeon of sorts. And we say of sorts, but with a pumpkin and melon farm attached, it clearly is a plant to emerald sweatshop. Let's banish that thought out of our heads by pointing out that Keralis is wearing a skirt now. Dressed as a Roman soldier for the occasion, Keralis continues his post-Greece but not that post-Empire, and actually fills in the back of the ancient Rome villa with a nice courtyard to weather the hotter days in. Unfortunately, his copper golems refuse to oxidize fast enough.
Just look at my little boys. They grow up so fast. No, they don't. Like, this is taking the whole night, and we have 1, maybe 2 done?
In no small part thanks to the conflicting mechanic of having friends and being invited away from your house. So they're never loaded and never become cyan statues. At least Etho shows up with the donkey cavalry to eat his figs and drink all his wine. Continuing the theme of amazing drip, Tango Tech reveals his Season 11 outfit, and I guess he's straight up a vampire now.
Thorough look at my new look for Season 11. I'm going like, ooh, look at it, ooh.
Starting to see why he wanted to block off the sun over his base territory. The big wall cover of night is still quite a bit away for now. First, the man needs to figure out where to keep all these building blocks. The solution, as usual, is a hole. But a fancy one? There are auto sorters at play, and chest arrays functioning as actual data arrays, meaning you can realistically spreadsheet Tango's building blocks. Until Impulse and him build a shulker shell farm, of course. After that, there's no telling, really.
We did it, Tango. We're professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever question it? I mean, come on, right? Like,
no.
Easy.
We can tell you Cubfam135 is splitting his stackables and non-stackables before sorting them, but that would be a lie because it's actually Redstone that does that. And Golem's sorting it too, just for the record.
We got ourselves a sorter for our pre-sorting before the actual sorting happens with the copper golem around us.
Credit where credit is due, Cub made sure his robot workforce doesn't go green by building a fully automated bee farm that does even autocraft the materials into blocks before they're shipped off into the pink cherry wall with all the copper maids. The episode with all this is titled Serious Storage, so keep in mind this is no laughing matter. Luckily there's plenty of teal to go around thanks to Jevin fooling an ocean monument into being a guardian farm. He was there helping dig XP Crafted's hill down, so we can assume the guy's contagious or something.
Let's go. I love a good diggy project.
Jevin's trick to not having to empty out the literally monumental bounding box is to just move his AFK box so far up that only a corner of the structure covered in soul sand is actually loaded. With nowhere else to put the mobs, the game is forced to spawn the guardians right in the bubble columns, from whence they are harvested easily.
I ended up setting my spawn underwater right near the soul sand. That way, the second that I died, I could just place a few blocks, die, place a few more, and eventually got it done.
So Jevin has an up-and-coming prismarine business on his hands, if not for Zombie Cleo building basically the same farm except times bigger and lower. They then go on to visit multiple server mates to gift them piles of the prized marine and the sword lanterns,
Yeah, I can have from farm.
Yay, we can have from farm.
revealing along the way that Rendog actually had no idea that the prismarine blocks are animated and change colour back and forth over time.
Sea lanterns I know are animated, but I did not know that this block was animated.
You didn't know.
Pretty crazy. I did
It's
not
actually
know, to be honest.
adorable. It's actually sweet.
Yeah.
Making XP Crafted's time lapses blink rapidly since 2014. XP Crafted himself is committing perhaps one of the most significant changes to the skyline, which it turns out was the reason for killing that wither at the end of the last episode.
So this is from Mini HUD. This shows you the beacon range. Like this one I got really, really good. Like it lines up perfectly.
All this demolition work needed a demolition crew, so while XP does a lot of the digging solo, anyone who wanted stone for building was welcome to swing by and carve off a few layers themselves. It also explains why XP has adopted the hardest of hard hats, reskinning his helmet to look like a trial spawner.
You look kind of like Bane. I was merely born in the darkness, Batman.
Next to Corrales' Roman helmet, XP looks more like a Visigoth, and he's visibly more goth now he's been to the Nether and gotten hold of some netherite upgrades. We knew from week 1 that Impulse SV's silo dig wasn't particularly horse-friendly, but apparently it was getting pretty treacherous for anything or anyone without wings.
Needless to say, I was a little bit embarrassed when Azuma came by and that wasn't taken care of, so I think we're going to start today off by fixing that straight away.
So Impulse adds copper catwalks to aid exploration while he explains the different layers are going to have different purposes. Layer 2 is agriculture, Layer 3 is commerce. Presumably he'll fit a layer of jam and cream into this dessert somewhere.
Not everything has to be functional. We could have just some fun stuff, you know, like judicial. You know, maybe there's a courtroom. I don't know.
We know there's plenty of cake ingredients lying around after Grian explodes into some of them. Unfortunately for Impulse, building a shulker farm at his base would be pretty impractical, thanks to their tendency to teleport to any available solid block. So when he and Tango abduct one from the end, they elect to build the resulting box company in the middle of the ocean instead. Which resolves one issue with Impulse's bookshop, namely the fact that he's got to restock it, with fresh shulkers of books whenever mending and unbreaking inevitably sell out. And the shop is available round the clock, now it has an airship dock built in the shopping district. BOO continues to branch out in ways we should have expected from someone who loves building custom trees.
You know me, we're gonna make bigger. There will be bigger.
He's no longer the server's premier sleeper, he's correcting people's redstone snafus, and he's even one of the first people Tango invites to help him steal sponges from an ocean monument. Then again, maybe he just needed someone to distract the Guardians for him. Back on dry land, B-Dubs plans to make it drier still by using bone blocks to build boulders. So he builds a moss farm which, despite his affinity for moss, it's fair to say doesn't turn out how he expected.
I knew it. I knew it. I know there's something else I lost too. I don't know what exactly. I'll find out probably when I'm editing the video, but I knew! I knew!
Fortunately, after a few nudges from Etho and a bit more testing, he at least generates enough bone blocks to build a second cliff, connecting the two with a bridge. Because even B-Dubs isn't immune from the trends of Season 11, despite having started his base in a pretty flat area. Rendog also has a bridge on the agenda, but first he has to pass his prank trauma onto Pearlescent Moon.
Azuma gave me this. Look at this thing. It's crazy.
Wait, but if I right click this, it's gonna disappear.
No, dude, it's unbreaking. It's got unbreaking on it.
In Ren's case, he's bridging to another part of his build area and discusses some community suggestions for what to name his magical city, with the caveat that he's allowed to translate some of them into Elvish, thank you very much.
I wanted to add a little bit of nerdy flair to it, and so, bear with me everybody, things are about to get, well, incredibly nerdy.
Ren also magically transports us back to the Trial Chamber raid with him, Mumbo, and Skizzleman, during which the arcane syllable was uttered to him for the first time. This is, of course, before it became a curse that spread throughout villager kind. And Ren is getting all too familiar with curses, as he volunteers to help with Doc M's latest death machine, but probably curses himself for leaving the coordinates of this potentially fragile redstone creation on screen for all to see. And finally, there's Doc M, who will tell you it was all part of the plan.
Then I look at the top corner, it's like, wait a minute, no way. He has his cords on. I can't believe it. I'm thinking to myself, wow, leave the coordinates in. This will make such huge waves in the community, it will be on Reddit.
Because the server's Redstone Warlock tells all the dark secrets of his infernal machine in an explanation that goes all the way back to his ores being snatched during Season 10. We'll let you visit the video itself for the full explanation, as it really deserves to be heard from the Goatman himself. But it turns out the Season 10 one-shot challenge was secretly a way to farm arrows shot by other hermits. He knew Raine had left the coordinates in his footage, decided not to panic and just rebuilt the machine somewhere else, and he kidnapped Good Times with Scar's droid to bait him into shooting him with a bow Doc had given him.
Make Scar suffer. How did we end up here?
The technical explanation includes a demonstration in creative without all the set dressing, so if you're a regular on PvP servers, maybe tune in so you know what you're up against. Because the video ends with Doc M wishing everyone good luck as he basically hands over the blueprints to the Torment Nexus. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is SloyXP and my name is Pixelriffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you don't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.